guys, if you're new here, my name is Sam and I make videos about makeup, chronic illness, and whatever I want. And Happy New Year at the end of February. I have been having a time with my health. I'll probably do, I don't know, maybe, it's not really even a health update, it's just all the usual stuff kind of that I explained in that vlog 3 weeks ago. The only difference is after the PMDD finished up, I ended up with sinus infection, which took me out for a week. So I'm looking for my notes. Which direction? I want to start off with my 2025 recap of my to-do list and goals, and then move on to the 2026. If you're new here, I do that. I usually go over it while I'm doing my makeup. We're gonna do that today, and we're gonna see if I still know how to do my makeup, because I haven't done a full face of makeup since November 23rd. I've done a couple quick things, but we're gonna do a full face today, and we're gonna see how much I mess it up while I talk about last year and what I hope to accomplish this year. So I'm gonna start because my skin has been very dehydrated. I got new glasses. If you're not new here, yes, those are new glasses. I'm going to do a little Fix Plus to help add some hydration. 2025, if you've watched any of my recent videos, or even videos from last year, I probably talked about it was not a great time for my health. I had an insane uptick in migraine attacks. I had a hip impingement, go all bananas. And then I had stuff in my personal life that was just a lot. It was a lot. I lost most of my year to health-related problems. That's the thing. What do I want to do? Oh yeah, I do my eyes first. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna ignore my eyebrows because I truly don't remember the last time I plucked them. Maybe like September or something. I just don't care today. I have this box of stuff for a shorts, reels, TikTok, whatever I need to film of favorite products. They've been in this box since like July. This just shows you where I have been at. So we're going to start with what my list of to-do / goals was last year. I can't see this, so I'm gonna have to lean down. Paint our guest bathroom. No. I want to say starting in June or July was when the migraines really took off, and I was getting probably 4 to 5 a week, and at least half of those were debilitating to the point like I couldn't really get out of bed. Painting was not at all going to happen. Organize my filming room closet. Have you guys, I'm sure you have, so I don't know why I phrased it that way, but I'm sure you guys have had these times in your life where you're like, that was last year, that wasn't like 30 years ago. Not 30, obviously, but you know what I mean. So I didn't remember, I can't see, that the filming room was just last year. I remember I did it at the beginning of the year, which is why it feels so long ago. But yes, I did do that. I'm feeling some cool tones today. So I'm going to use this ColourPop Foolish Mortals. I'm still working on my use every pan thing, so it's been a while, and I want to see if I have what I've used in that. Literally nothing. Okay, so I'm free to do what I want. Where was I? Oh, yes, I did get my filming room closet done, and it has been really nice. There's a few things in there I need to deal with that are not super organized, but that's because I tried to change something and couldn't. One, what I changed didn't work, and two, it never got finished because of all the other stuff happening. Stained porch, nope, same reason as the painting the bathroom. What was after that? Master gluten-free bread, kind of. This is an ongoing process because it's very complicated. If you're gluten-free, you know. If you're not gluten-free, you don't want to know. It varies by recipe, it varies by flours, it's a whole thing. But I am definitely working my way to it. I'm at good bread, but I think it's gonna take me a while to get to a point where I think I have mastered it. But we're continuing on this year. I did my first gluten-free pizza dough last week, so we're still working. Limit screen time, absolutely. I am very proud of myself. I tend to use screens more when I'm stuck in bed. Not necessarily just migraine, because it doesn't help the migraine if I do that. But like with the hip impingement, I feel like I spent more time on there. But I have also worked on, if I'm going to be on a screen, trying to make the best of it and make it a little more, not even productive, but just like no doom scrolling. I'm going to like watch content about my hobbies or so on and so forth. Not just focus on like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Just the nonsense stuff that like wastes your time. I try to make it like beneficial to myself in some way. I kind of got to this point where I was struggling a bit with if I wanted to keep my social media at all. Now, I don't count YouTube as social media. I'm not going anywhere. I like YouTube. It's really been a bummer having to cut back on this. And I'm hoping, like, once I hit a full dose of Botox, like, I get closer to where I was before, like back in 2024. Almost forgot what year it is. Time is a wild concept. The next thing was read 52 books. Yes, I think I read more than 52 books. No, I read exactly 52 books. What's next? More genres of books. This basically didn't happen because I could go on a whole rant about it, and I don't know that anyone would care because nobody really cared about my book video, so probably not. But everything is smut. I swear. I am not even a prude, but I would seek out romance books if, like, I wanted sex scenes, and I would seek out whatever kind of book it's called if I wanted very detailed sex scenes. But it seems to be seeping into everything, even thrillers, which has been difficult. But trying to find books, like, I would find a book, I liked the idea of it, and start to read it, and it's already, like, off the rails, and so I just stopped trying. It's already kind of seeping into the horror genre, which I'm not at all thrilled about. But it's a little more difficult, at least for those two things to coincide. Not impossible, but more difficult depending on what the element of horror is. So no, I pretty much stayed in my lane. I did give it a shot. I have been reading more nonfiction, which isn't necessarily like a new genre for me, but a little bit of something else. Weekly Torah study, kind of, not consistently, but kind of. It was definitely there, but not as often as I would have liked. But again, headaches do that to you. No by 6 months. I learned, which we're going to get into in a different video, hopefully the next video I film, like 6 months without buying a replacement was like impossible because you don't run out of things at the same time. Like we all know that with shampoo and conditioner and yada yada. So I didn't know buy for 6 months of like nothing new and replacements only, but my goal was like full stop, no buy at all, and I realized that's not exactly doable if you regularly use beauty products. That's the fun of these projects though, is you don't know until you try. Let's speed run this because I'm moving kind of fast and I still have to go over my goals for this year. I put my glasses on to speed run. Stabilize my joints. Some of them. That's a regular thing I need to work on because it's kind of like a constant thing you need to do. Scrapbook my year, sort of. I started junk journaling, so that's kind of where we're at. I didn't scrapbook in the traditional sense like I meant when I picked this, but working on it. I have been better about sorting my photos, though, on my phone, so that's helpful. Cozy hobbies. Yes, I actually started learning crochet, which has been fun. Journaling, kind of go back to the junk journaling. I'm still trying to figure out a method for me for regular journaling. What's on this? Intentional photos. Yes, for the most part. I had just been taking fewer photos in general, which was not exactly what I meant, but I was taking very intentional photos until the whole migraine thing started. There's that. More planning. No. We're going to revisit that, but it's kind of the same thing with journaling. Collabs. Yes, I did a few last year. I don't currently have any plans for this year just because I've kind of fallen off the face of the planet. And I'm not using social media as much, so I'm not sure what the future holds for that. Finish my photography class. No. Also see health kind of situations. Moving on. I had a really hard time picking my goals and my to-do lists for 2026. And I just kind of sat there like, what do I even want to do? Truly, what's happening here? Because I'm not feeling super inspired. I wasn't sure if it was because I haven't felt well and I'm kind of just recovering. So I took some time. I took more time than I have in the past. Usually it's pretty easy. These new eye folds from the Botox are interesting to work around. Usually I have my list written before the new year. I did not even kind of finish this up until the end of January because I was just really like, whatever, not in the mood, not feeling it. But what I really decided to do was go through my lists from the last 5 years. Weird, I've been doing it that long. And see, like, where there's overlap or repeats. Because I know for a fact there are some things that I have repeated or that I put on the list every year and I never accomplish it. I need my glasses again for this. So I just want to see what kept showing up. And I noticed some improvements in goals I have had more than once. So screen time, gluten-free cooking, hobby time, movement specifically for my disabled hypermobile body, photography. Those things I have all like stuck to and like accomplished the thing that I wanted to do for the year. So I realized there's a few things that clearly really appeal to me that I want to, you know, make sure I'm focusing on. I took my glasses off because I'm going to do lids before I start doing my face, and I can put my glasses back on. Obviously, there are a few things that fell short last year and I didn't actually get to accomplish, but that was more health than feeling stuck or uninspired, or I don't exactly know the word I'm looking for, just like unable, I suppose. Like, it just wasn't working out for me. Oh, I forgot the thing. I was like, why is this falling out all over my face? Because I didn't put the glitter primer over here. See, it's the things you forget when you haven't done this in 3 months. It's kind of like riding a bike. Okay, cool. Now let's move on. Then I discovered some repeated things that I just can't get to stick. That was the word I was looking for that I couldn't remember. Is things are just not sticking. Journaling and planning are the things that I have almost every year that I just can't get to stick. You could say that these are the exact same thing in some regard. Planning and journaling are incredibly similar. So there's clearly something about them that my brain is just resistant to. Now, I'm not able to plan in the traditional sense because my health does not allow that, as you have seen. There are many parts of my life where it just would be impossible. But it's nice to have kind of just a rough draft list of things that I want or need to get done in a week, and to just keep track of stuff. I do keep track of my migraines in my phone, but it would be nice to keep kind of like a written, more detailed, I just mark it in my calendar. It would be nice to have a written area where I can mark all of my prodrome symptoms, like just more detail. I need to shave my face. I haven't done that in forever either. I'm looking at my notes because I already tried to film this, fun fact, a few weeks ago, and my mic just wasn't working. It was like a computer thing, and we don't need to talk about that. I saw somebody talk about how a planner shouldn't be rigid because it's just a guide. And I feel like maybe that's the secret for me, because way too frequently I do try to be more rigid than I can due to my health. And I think that kind of throws me off track, is like I'll see other people do their planner and it's like it looks full and whatever, and I've kind of learned that it doesn't need to be full of activities, right? I could be using it to track my migraines or the books I'm reading or, you know, the dinners I made or all of that kind of stuff, you know? And that has kind of changed a little bit of perspective. The journaling I also take way too seriously. I knew that regarding the journaling. I always treat journaling, or I was treating journaling like you had to have some kind of interesting story to tell or, you know, talk about your day or whatever. My day is just more or less the same over and over again. So it felt kind of bizarre to time out another day, another migraine. But like that isn't what it needs to be. It's just kind of a place to empty your brain. So it'd be a good place for me to sort of write down whatever I'm thinking, maybe spitball some video ideas, stuff of that nature. It doesn't need to talk about like, I don't know, kind of like work drama or whatever, you know. So let's move on to my 2026 goals. It's pretty easy. I really just want to focus on figuring out journaling and planning for myself. There isn't really anything else I want to do this year. And by that, I mean, I don't know what this year has in store for me. So I don't want to, I guess, mentally saddle myself with stuff that might not be attainable. So far, the Botox is working well, but we're not at maintenance yet because I still have one beginner dose left in March. And then from there, we'll see if anything needs adjusted. Winter has been brutal for me for the first time regarding migraine, because usually that has just been summer and winter is just kind of me and fatigue. So I've lost more of my life, hopefully temporarily, than I have in the past. And that kind of just makes me hesitant, I suppose. And it's not like I beat myself up about these lists, right? They're not resolutions. It's just things I would like to do in the coming year. But I think what made it hard making this list was just knowing I don't know where I'm going to be at this year. So I can't think of anything I want to do because I truly have no idea where I'm going to be at. This actually went quicker than I thought it was because I stopped doing things to chat. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any goals or if you're just taking it easy and going with the flow in 2026, please let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.